Okay, so here you can see that I have finished my heel flap. It's a square. You can tell, you can do a little test. If it folds in half like this and the edges match up, then your heel flap is all done. It's got 20 stitches. That's half of what you have on your sock so far. And now I'm going to switch colors again. You don't have to do this on your sock. I'm just doing it to separate all the different steps. So I've made a slip knot and I slide the slip knot onto the old color. Bring it all the way up, pull the two tails apart, and you feel the little click. Can you see how the yellow popped through? That's the weaver's knot. It's nice and secure. So now we're going to do the crazy small heel. This is the hardest part of your sock. When I do this in class with 5th graders, I can only do it one-on-one. You can't teach it unless somebody's right next to you. Usually it takes 3 tries to get it. So it involves short rows. To begin, we're going to knit half of our stitches. Here I'm using my new color, beautiful black walnut from the California Chaparral. And I'm going to knit to the center of my row here and place a marker. You can use a fancy marker from a knitting shop or just take a piece of string and tie it into a loop. But let's see how many I've got. 2, 4, 6, 8, 2 more. So this is just straight knitting. Place the marker. So you just made a weird little loop. Put it on there. Okay, here we go. Knit 2 together. So we're knitting 2 at the same time. Knit 1 more. Here comes the crazy part. Turn your work to the purl side. What? Okay. So we're on the purl side now. So we're going to purl to the marker. Slip the marker over to the other needle. There, purl 2 together. 2 at the same time. There we are. Ah! It's hard to do it under the table. Okay, purl 2 together. Purl 1. And turn your work to the knit side. Ta-da! Now, see why I used this contrasting color? Because you can see where I've started the small heel. Now, from now on, there's going to be a gap. Everywhere you turn your work to the other side, there's a gap. And every time you come to that gap, you bridge the gap by knitting those 2 together on the knit side or purling them on the purl side. Knit 1 more and turn the work. And in that way, the gap will move down, 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 down. And by the time you get to the end, your small heel will be done. So it looks like this. On the knit side. So I'm going to knit to the marker, slip the marker, knit 1 more. Now I've got the gap. So I'm going to bridge the gap by knitting those 2 together. Knit 1 more. Turn the work to the purl side. Ta-da! And when you spread your stitches out, you can see that there's an obvious gap. That's where you're going to make your bridge, those 2. So we'll keep going. to the marker, slip the marker. I usually keep it kind of loose there. I'm still looking for my gap. And here it is, the gap. So I'm going to purl those two together to bridge the gap. What do you think comes next? Purl one more and turn your work to the knit side. So because of these short rows, you can see that we're starting to get a little three-dimensional here. It's turning the heel or making the small heel. It's really the magical part of knitting a sock.
Grandma?
Yes, honey?
What are you doing?
I am knitting. So I'm on the knit side now. I'm just going to do the whole thing so that you can see the small heel start to finish. On the knit side, knit to the marker, slip the marker onto the other needle, knit to the gap, and here's the gap, so I'm going to bridge the gap, knit that one and that one together. Knit one. So you are decreasing 2 stitches every time you go do a row. And by the end of it, turning to the purl side, you will be down to 12 stitches. And when you have 12 stitches, you are done. Here's the gap. Purling to the marker, slip the marker. I like to keep the marker free so it doesn't get stuck in there anywhere. Here's my gap over there, so I've got to purl 2 more. And purl these 2 together to bridge that gap. Purl 1 more and turn the work to the knit side. You can see how the gap is moving down each time. Knit to the marker. Slip the marker. This marker's useful in the next step as well. It's not only just for this, so you want to keep it on there. Here's my gap. Knit 2 together. Knit 1. Coming right along. Turn the work to the purl side. Purl to the marker. Slip the marker. Come back here. See the knit to the marker, slip the marker, and here's the gap. So let's see how many we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I went too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there should be 12. So in this case, I should just knit that one, so that we have 6 on each side of the marker. 2, 4, 6, and 2, 4, 6. Yay, we did it! So now go ahead and look for the next video, and that will be for your instep.